Well, here we are. Good morning. This is Paul Romero with the Swiss Gold Global, uh, independent business owner, network marketing training number. I believe this is 75. I have been quite under the weather the past few days, and good news is, even though I probably look like crap this morning, I definitely feel a whole lot better than I have the last 3 days. So bear with me on that. And I really have no clue kind of what we've been doing. I know that we got through last week the napkin presentations one and two, and I was on a little bit of John's call on Monday with his review of napkin presentation number two. I believe he was. I believe you were. I believe you went through the whole presentation again, if I'm not mistaken on that, John. But yeah, otherwise, I am not prepared to move forward with anything here. I have not been able to function in any way, shape, or form for 3 days. So I don't even know what napkin presentation number three is, to be honest with you right now. So I'm going to throw it over to John this morning to say good morning and kind of pick up the slack for me a little bit here.
That sounds great, Paul. And right now, I'm not. Are you seeing my face right now?
Oh yeah, uh-huh, yeah.
Well, I don't know what's going on, but my window for the Hangout is closed. So right now, I'm just looking at an empty desktop, if you will, and it's weird because apparently I'm here, I'm live. I don't know why I'm not seeing myself, so that's okay. Yeah, it seems that the window disappeared. Oh, there it is. I found it. It's really hard to do this hangout if if you're not seeing yourself. Anyway, good morning, Paul. I'm glad you're feeling a little bit better up in Tahoe. I like those rustic cabin-like cabinets you have in your home. That's kind of my style. I like that.
Yeah, that's my kitchen right there. and that's and there's the brand new $700 stove we had to get that the old one fried while I was a month ago when I was down there.
Ah, that's okay. Well, a nice new stove, stainless. Very impressed. And you're making all this money from network marketing and real estate, so you can afford a stove, right? So, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the call. On Monday, we had gone over the napkin presentation number two, which is a very simple napkin presentation, as all of these are. And I told you we'd probably get into number five, not number five, chapter four, which is napkin presentation number three. But before we get to that point, I had talked about making that list that you'd want to go on vacation with. So I thought we should probably talk a little bit about review here this morning and kind of reiterate the importance of why we're building this list of people, and then we can just quickly touch upon some of the concepts so far that we have discussed from the Own Your Life Plan book by Don Thalia, which is a brilliantly written, simple to follow system for creating a successful network marketing organization. And then if we've got time before the end, we can touch a little bit upon chapter four, because before we move on, and you may be saying, man, why do these guys keep repeating these concepts from the book? Because repetition is the mother of learning, and it's really important that you understand the concepts from this book clearly, accurately, and you're able to talk about them, freely. And this stuff can just roll off your tongue and come off the top of your mind, and you're really familiar with this information, because this is the very basic foundation to building your organization. It is this book, this Own Your Life Plan book by Don Thalia, that we're studying and learning, that is the system that we're using to promote Swiss Gold Global. And not only that, this is the system when we talk about teaching and training, and not going out and just selling this product or service to a million, to hundreds of people, but working with the 5 people closely and teaching and training them. Well, what is it that you're teaching and training is the failure system. So that's why we're going through this book very slowly and doing a lot of repeating, because not only are we trying to make it very clear what the concepts of this book are and make it very clear how simple these napkin presentations can be, but this is actually the ability for us to get better at teaching this information and also absorbing it and taking this information down to the cellular level. So it's not only for your benefit to hear this over and over again, it's also to the benefit of Paul and I to continually reiterate this information for our own practice so that we can be better at teaching and training the people within our organization.
Well, yeah, I got a little point to throw in here. John's talking about the why are we keep repeating all this stuff, and he says that repetition is the mother of learning, and in reality there's 4 steps to learning anything, and what they come down to is your first step is called unconscious incompetence. That's where you don't even know that you don't even know what this is, right? So I'm going to relate this to something very simple like tying your shoes. When you were a young kid, you ran around with little slippers and booties and, little onesies on and everything like that. You weren't even wearing any shoes. You had no idea. And then once you started wearing shoes, well, all of a sudden, your parents are putting shoes on your feet, and they're sitting there and they're tying these shoes for you. So now before you had your shoes put on your feet and they had to be tied, you didn't even know that shoes had to go on your feet and they had to be tied, right? So that's the first step, is the unconscious incompetence. You don't even know what you don't even know, right? The second step now is conscious incompetence. That's now where, hey, the shoes went on your feet, you saw that they got tied, you were like, oh my gosh, I have to wear shoes and they have to be tied. Now I know that I don't know. It's when you become aware of something. So what we've already done here by introducing this material to you is we've allowed you to become aware of the training and the education and the knowledge and what you need to become successful in building a network marketing organization. So we've helped you all reach the conscious incompetence level. You now know that there's a whole bunch of stuff you don't know and you need to learn it. The next step is conscious competence. That's where this is where we're at right now, is we're giving you the information, so now that you know what it is that you didn't know before, but it's not second nature to you. This is something that is strange, it's foreign, and so every time that you go to apply this information, you have to think about it. You have to consciously think about the steps, the presentations, how they work. Each and every piece of the whole little puzzle. You have to consciously think about it. So that's where we're taking you now, and this is where the repetition part comes in. The best way for you to learn, not the only way. People learn different ways, but the best way that you learn, the strongest, what gets in you, the way that things become innate and second nature to you, is by doing them over and over and over again, and that's where the conscious competence level is that you're at right now, and that's the redoing, the reiteration, as John puts it, of running through these things again and again and again and again, and doing it and doing it and doing it, so that you can finally reach the 4th level of learning, which is unconscious competence. I mean, if I ask you to tie your shoe right now, right, you bend down, you go, you don't even look at it, you just tie it. When you're consciously competent, when I ask you to tie your shoe, you have to go down. You're like, okay, let's see here, loop over, chase the rabbit down the hole, whatever the little trick is that you use to remember how to tie those shoes, and you have to do it over and over and over again, thinking about it each and every time. I got to do this first, this second, this third, and then boom, pull these 2 loops, and boom, they're tied. Okay, next time you do it, you got to think about it again and again and again. Then all of a sudden, one day, you don't have to think about it anymore. You just bend down, you don't even look, you tie your shoe, boom, you're done, you're on your way. So that's where we're at right now, is at the conscious competence level, where you've now gained some information that before you didn't even know you needed, and then you became aware that, wow, there's a whole lot missing here that I don't even know that I need to get some information for. Now we're giving you the information, and now you're at the level right now where you have to continue doing this repeatedly over and over and over again, so that this can become second nature to you, so that you don't have to think about it. It just automatically gets applied. It just flows out of you like it's part of your being. So that's why it's so important that we repeat all this stuff over and over again, and we run through these multiple times, and it's something that you need to be doing on your own as well too, and practicing each and every one of these napkin presentations. So I just wanted to throw that in, John.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's just do a quick review. Oh, I'm so jealous of you, Paul. Right now, I see you sipping down what I'm guessing is a hot coffee or a hot tea.
That would be coffee.
Yeah, I have a job. Okay, I left my groceries on the kitchen table last night because I had to run out, and I came home, and the dog had chewed my $12 bag of organic coffee that I just bought, and the floor was covered in coffee beans. So I don't have coffee to make this morning, and I am pissed off about it. Anyway.
And the dog hasn't slept.
You know what? I'm gonna throw.
The dog hasn't slept all night, right?
Yeah. If you are trying to build a successful network marketing business, one of the greatest hindrances would be taking care of a 2-year-old Labrador, because it's really cuts into your personal time, and every day is a new surprise. But anyway, I was going to say I'd like to just kind of review some of the concepts that are important about network marketing, starting with Chapter 1 of the Don Faillia book, and just quickly moving forward. And one of those concepts is understanding what network marketing is and what network marketing isn't. And as we've discussed before, network marketing is a way of moving products and services. It's not a pyramid scheme, which a lot of people you'll come up against that objection quite a bit, because I have, with several people I've introduced this to. But just to understand, it's a legitimate business that moves services. And that's what separates it from a pyramid scheme, which is nothing more than a way of funneling money up a chain, but no product or services are being moved through that chain or organization. It's also, the network marketing is, what is the number, Paul? It's a $1.4 billion per year industry. Am I wrong on that number?
I'm not sure. In the book it said I'm not sure. In the book it said $1.76 billion, but then when I went to the Direct Sales Association site and was looking around to try to find those numbers because I wanted to verify the accuracy of that, the best thing I could find was that it was only like at no, it's like, you're thinking of 176 billion. And the only numbers that I could find in there were more like around, I think it was like 43 billion or something like that. But you know what? Either way, 43 billion, 176 billion. Hey, you know what? That's a lot of freaking billions of dollars, right?
It is. It's a lot of money. It just, it goes to show you that this is a legitimate business system that's been in operation for well over 30 years, that generates a large amount of sales in the in the retail economy. So that's information that you want to be that you want to have. So when you're talking about network marketing to people, you have these facts that you can share with them to legitimize this business model. And another interesting point about this is to make the differentiation.
So 2 things in there, John, real quick.
Sure, absolutely.
I just want to say that knowing as much about what network marketing is not is just as important as knowing what it is, because knowing what it is not is going to give you an advanced kind of a anticipation of what the objections coming your way are going to be, and knowing what it is not and anticipating that, hey, all of this that it is not is really generally what people view it as. This is what people think it is, and it's everything that it is not. So knowing that is very important, so that you can actually be able to have your true facts of what network marketing actually is in order to counteract their objections. And then the second thing I wanted to just point out was, and this is something that maybe you might be able to use along the way in somebody who's saying that, well, it's a scheme and it's not real and all this and that. Well, I mean, there's a company out there that is a network marketing. It's a combination direct sales network marketing organization called Legal Shield, and it is all about selling legal services. And they have attorneys in every state in the nation who offer their services through this network marketing membership platform, which is kind of what most network marketing systems are, is membership type of product service purchasing programs. And if you don't think that 50 attorneys, 50 top attorneys across the nation over the 25 years or whatever that Legal Shield's been around have not figured out yet that this is a pyramid scheme and shut it down, well then, we're all in trouble here, okay? So that's just a cool little fact that we could add into to your talk about, somebody who's got an objection about it being a pyramid scheme. It's like, okay, hey, well, if 52 top attorneys across the U.S. haven't figured out this is a pyramid scheme, what's the deal?
No, I'm glad you pointed that out. That's very important. Yeah, to know what network marketing is and to know what it isn't is just important. And actually, that does lead to something that I was going to bring up there, Paul, before I threw it back to you to bring up those two key points, those elements there, is that it is not direct sales marketing. A lot of people that you're going to introduce this to probably, because most people have an aversion or a distaste, and it comes from an ignorance and a lack of understanding, but don't like, quote unquote, sales. People don't like sales guys, probably because they've had an experience with that, that pushy salesman that wouldn't take no for an answer, that didn't know how, people don't like sales because of amateur salespeople. That's the bottom line. The pushy amateur who doesn't know how to talk with people, hasn't read How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, and just simply doesn't know his trade. That's what gives sales a bad name. But the reason I want to say to know the difference between direct sales and what me and Paul have, or Paul and I have here, which is a network marketing business, is to understand the difference between that, because that, again, is anticipation of what, like Paul said, is knowing the objections you're going to face beforehand. And to know those objections, you got to know what direct sales marketing is. People don't, 95% of people don't understand what network marketing is. And I think it's like they even say 95% of the people who own a quote-unquote network marketing business of their own don't know, really fully understand what it is. So direct sales, and this is what we talked about in napkin presentation number 2 to explain what we are not going out there and selling this product to anyone, and not going out and trying to sell it to large amounts of people. What we're doing is, this is what napkin presentation number 1 demonstrates, is that we are teaching and training and working with 5 people, and using the 5 people that we teach and train the business system to go out there and recruit each 5 people, who will then, each one of those 5 recruit 5, so forth and so on. And we're really concentrating on just working with 5, really selling them, but sharing with them this opportunity, what the products are, and teaching them and training them about what our business system is, which is what we explain with napkin presentation number 2. So to understand what network marketing is and isn't, and it isn't a pyramid scheme, and it isn't a direct sales marketing model. It's a completely different thing. I'm going to toss it back to Paul to kind of take us from there.
Yeah, exactly. The network marketing model is not about selling at all. What it's about is building an organization. There's a big difference there, because when you're building an organization, what you're doing is you're really creating a funnel. And it starts out, it's like a reverse funnel. It starts out with one with you, and instead of, having it big and wide and where it funnels down to you, it starts with you and it funnels outward. And as you build this organization, as your funnel gets larger and larger and larger, that just means that more product and service is moving through you and through your organization and out, and out in through your organization. And that's the whole idea here. And that's what makes it so successful, and that's what makes it so attractive to these companies to set up a network marketing program, because they don't have to pay for all this marketing and sales and everything that's going on out there, because you are the salesperson. Basically, you're the marketing and sales division for the company, and all you're doing is, like John says, is you're only working with a few small people to build an organization. You're not out there selling product and service. That's the huge difference that I think in napkin presentation number 3 demonstrates, napkin presentation number 2 demonstrates that in more detail, in that we're not out there trying to sell everybody this product and service. What we're trying to do is build an organization, bring people into the organization, bring them in and get them to be a part of this whole thing, because they like the product and service, they want to use the product and service, and also beneficially too, more people who want to build an organization and build some future and some financial freedom and some residual income for themselves, and learn the business that you're doing. So that's what it's all about, is finding the people that want to learn the business that you're doing, and then you teaching and training them, and then they become part of your organization. It just builds and builds and builds from there. And the bigger your organization builds, the better off everybody is. All the way up to the company that's providing the product and service, because they're moving more and more and more product through your organization, through everyone that's using it, and that. So yeah. And then presentation number 3, John, goes into like I said, the differentiates the selling part of the presentation part, right?
Right. And we're out of time, so let's just say, hey, you know what? I think we did a good review today, Paul, of basically the concepts for Chapter 1, what network marketing is, what network marketing isn't. So we've got to understand that as the basic foundations. We touched upon what napkin presentation 1 was all about, which, if you haven't seen the older Hangouts showing you the napkin presentation, we urge you to go back and take a look at those. We just did them in the last 2-3 weeks, and that basically shows you how working with 5 people and teaching and training those 5 people to find 5 people, and the power of the numbers, and the difference between training only 2 people and training only 5, and then really reiterating and saying, hey, you know what, you'd want to work with 5 people. And to find those 5 people, you might have to talk to 10, 15, maybe 20 people, but you know what, you may pick up a few just customers along the way that don't want to have a network marketing organization or business, but want to be users and buyers of the product. So in finding your 5 key people, what we'll later start referring to as the gold ships when we get deeper into the Don Failure On Your Life Plan book, is to find those 5 ships, you may have to talk to a lot of different people, and you're going to pick up some customers along the way. And then napkin presentation number 2 just basically shows you that what your job is. And I'll use Paul as an example. My job is for me to teach Paul how to teach, let's say, Joe to sponsor Betty. So basically the napkin presentation number 2 just shows you what your commitment is to each person that you sponsor in, so that you don't fall victim to the salesperson syndrome, which is going out and treating it like a direct sales business and sponsoring 130 people. And then napkin presentation number 3, which is chapter 4 of the book, is what we're going to go right into on Friday morning. So let's go ahead and end it. I'm going to let Paul do the prayer, but I want to say one thing. Go to ownyourlifeplan.com if you haven't done so already. Download for free the first 4 chapters of the book. Read it before Friday. Get real familiar with chapters 1, 2, and 3. If you haven't watched any of our Hangouts, and this is kind of all new information to you and you're really not sure what we're talking about, please go back and watch some of the older ones where we break down, and actually Paul does a great napkin presentations. And then join us Friday, where we'll actually show you napkin presentation number 3, and we'll actually have completed our review of the first book. So with that, Paul, why don't you take us out of here?
Yeah, and I just want to say if anybody wants to start with, if anybody wants to pick up on these hangouts where we started going into the book, we started that with our network marketing training number 60. So this is number 7. This is number 75. We've gone 15 trainings already, and we're still in the first 3 chapters of the book. So, we do a lot of review, as we talked about. So anyway, just wanted to throw that out there. And also, if this is something that you are interested in, obviously you can go to the website here, and you can contact me, or you can go to John's website. He doesn't have his page up today, but you can go to either one of our websites. You can contact us, and you can, get involved with this organization, get a hold of us, and get more information, whatever it is that you want to do. So with that, universe, I ask not for more riches, but for more wisdom, with which to make better use of the riches given to me at birth, so that I may control and direct my own mind to whatever end I might desire. And with that, everybody, get out there and make it a great day. And we want to get into why you have that list of names, because here we are a little bit over a month, and I'll bet a lot of you haven't even picked up the phone and talked to anybody on those lists. But we're going to be talking about that too. So